Oh, hey guys, welcome back. As you know, Rapido does some rolling stock from time to time, and they always do a pretty good job, but let's make sure they're still on their game by taking a look at these latest rolling stock releases, the HO scale B-100 boxcars and the B-100-40 boxcars. So let's see what you get in the box next. See, I'm going to unbox the UP SP version here. This is a B-100-40. This is what we will show you on screen for unboxing. Got a little parts bag here with a couple of components. And under, they're giving out some nerd stickers and Rapido stickers. Exploded parts diagram goes over the boxcar, which is usually cheat to tell you a few things and act like I know what I'm doing. And then a Rapido flyer talking about their website, Facebook, YouTube, whatever that is, and Instagram and their phone number as well. So, rumor has it if you call that phone number, it rings directly to Jason's bedside at any hour of the night. Out of the box comes the box car. Let's go ahead and get the other ones out of the box and take a closer look. Now, this is a Pacific Car and Foundry boxcar. It was built by Southern Pacific in '76. Fleet was pretty small at about 250 cars, but they're well known through North America, Mexico, Canada. Now, their capacity is about 5,195 cubic feet. They have full hydro cushion underframes on the car, and 12-foot doors and car pack loaders. The most iconic spotting feature is the half-height waffle sides. As you can see, these waffles go up to about there and stop, and that's kind of indicative of the B-100-40 boxcar. So they've been used across the SP system. They've been seen throughout the U.S. In the mid-90s, a number of them were rebuilt by Greenbrier for an SP subsidiary, which was Golden West, and painted blue, and that's where you have the Golden West service scheme here. Most of them are still actually in service today for UP, and others are in short line service, getting yanked around short lines all over the country. Several were also purchased by Amtrak in the mid-90s for use in express service on trains across the system, and as you can see there's the Amtrak version. They had some minor modifications, including a large wheel door handle that you can see there. That's not present on these other ones. These are latches. So they also had brackets for end of train service and struts added to the trucks for stability at higher speeds. So you'll see some of those differences on the models as well. Last but not least, I want to show you the SP Hydro Cushion version, which is probably the first real version of the car because they were built for SP in '76. So UP, patched this one over. This was originally an SP one. Didn't really patch the SP, but you got UP when they took over SP. UP shield was added. So you got a limited lifetime warranty, so if you guys have problems, you can always call Rapido at that number that I told you rings to Jason's bedside. But let's take a closer look and zoom in on these. We'll start at the original, or with the original SP Hydro Cushion version here. Metal couplers on the ends, magnetic glad hands, separately applied crew ladders, and etched metal cross walk here for accessing the coupler and whatever else. You can see that waffle detail going up to about halfway, SP on the side, hydro cushion, all that's nice and clear, and all the load limits of the car are clear and legible on the side as well. As we work to the 12-foot door, you can see latch detail on there, as well as these locking bars that are separately applied here, and all of the associated warning labels on that. Southern Pacific on this side, and this is a good side view of the coupler cut lever as well. You can see just after the coupler right there. So a little hard, these are like lowrider cars, but a little hard to see the truck detail. But there is truck detail there, and then you would be shocked if I turn this upside down or on the side here, and it was a Rapido model and it didn't have underbody detail. There's braking mechanism, air reservoirs, you name it under here. All the bracing to make the car structurally sound is under here as well, and you can even see the rails for the door here on the side. It's more of a side detail than underbody detail, but I just wanted to show you that. And there's the brake wheel hiding out on this side with brake chain going down through the platform. You can also see that coupler cut lever pretty prominently there. SP road numbers on the end of the car. Clean and clear print, along with everything else that's on here print-wise. There's a nice side profile of the car. The top has a nice silver metallic appearance. Just a beautiful car. But that's kind of what we get out of Rapido rolling stock, I've noticed. We'll move to, let's see, Golden West service, which we had already talked about as I darn near take half the car off. I'm catching it on my turntable here, but Golden West service version here, we already talked about that. So I'll just give you a 360. The fit and finish of these cars is great though. You kind of probably see it in the light. The paint's done nicely. Has a real nice paint job. It's just a pretty car. And then, you know, for those folks that don't like clear, you can start weathering them up. I don't know if graffiti was kind of getting start then, but I'm not really a fan. We did skip the SP with a UP shield on here when UP first acquired SP, but there's more of the same there. And they do have subtle differences. Rapido makes sure to capture that. I'm just not wise enough on these models to know exactly what those are, but I can tell you one thing. There's that big old wheel for opening the door on the Amtrak version that we talked about. So, and like I said, the Rapido paint's just kind of some of the best I've seen. It just really, really captures your eye. So, for us modelers that like to live in a fantasy world where very little gets weathered and very little gets graffitied, you know, this is really cool. Really eye-catching. But I do have plans to make a couple limited trains that are weathered and maybe even graffitied once everything else is done and my layout looks realistic, and that's the only thing missing to really draw you in to make you think it's real. But that's all four of these B-100 series box cars. So there you have it. Kind of crammed on the turntable together. NMRA we can take a look at real quick. Weight we can take a look at real quick. So let's do that and then wrap it up. Alright, we'll take a gander at NMRA compliance. You be the judge there. Maybe a little low. We'll flip it around. Make sure all the wheels are on straight. And still a little low on that one. Let's take another sample. Sometimes there's just a slight adjustment you need to do. Sometimes it's a little more intensive, but about 90% of my reviews have low or high couplers. So in this case, sitting a little low on a couple of these models. We'll zoom out here while we're at it and look at wheel sets. Those appear to be engaged. Those are NMRA compliant. And I'm also checking to make sure the clearance is proper. which is also on the wheel sets, or on the NMRA gauge, shows that car clearance is proper. Sorry, I got sidetracked there, but making sure that you have enough clearance is key. And there have been models in the past that were made not enough side clearance, or not scale side clearance anyway, but that's all good. Alright, we'll go ahead and weigh these real quick. Those are 4.6 ounce cars. Do another one just for continuity, 4.5 ounce that is. So this is about a 7 1/8 length car body on this. So the NMRA says that initial weight should be 1 ounce plus half an ounce for every additional inch of car body. So it should be about 4.5 ounces, and we are, so that is good. And if anybody doesn't believe me on the length of the car body, here it is. It's about 7 1/8 there, as you can see. These are pretty free-rolling cars. I don't see them dragging down a consist much with not being able to glide properly, so that is a good sign as well. Well, there you have all 4 of those cars, and just final thoughts. The NMRA weight is point on, so that's good. They roll freely, so that's good. Coupler height slightly off, can be adjusted. Pretty standard for almost everything I see, with rare exception. Detail and paint job is good, and another item that really needed to be produced for a lot of SP and early UP modelers, Amtrak modelers, and West Coast folks. So overall, pretty impressive offering by Rapido, and I think it's well done. You'll see you next time right here on my channel. Take care.